um, putting on as a citizen, since this won't come up, the technical report with John Stroh, I have to voice my strong objection to that. The idea that we would even consider that is appalling to me. The CBI report, there's another key takeaway I get from the CBI report, and that's that it reinforces what we learned in the 2023 audit, and that's in regard to internal controls. There's a lot of internal controls that staff performs that me and Jerry will talk about, but there's also internal controls that you guys have to do. You should not be approving things that aren't in capital plans, that don't follow the financial policy manual, that you don't understand what the impacts of those are. In particular, the gas grant concerns me, but I'll wait till that resolution to talk on that. Thanks.
Ellen Sackett.
Greetings, everyone.
Hi, Ellen.
Thank you for giving me my 3 minutes. I believe the mayor has forwarded an email to all of you. Is that correct?
It's in the correspondence on the agenda. Everybody's.
I saw it. I just wanted to make sure. What I wanted to do was address what that was for you to look at. I have a lot more information that I won't provide you with today, but I wanted you to know what those pictures are. As I've said before up here, I'm a newcomer to this town. I just officially moved here literally on the 1st of January. But when I first visited Walsenburg, I thought I would never come back. And the main reason why was because of that burnout hospital. I didn't know what it was. I just saw it and was just horrified. And so therefore it sticks in my head. And as a visitor to this town, I think it probably sticks in other people's heads too. But I have what I think is a very good solution. I'm not saying it will happen overnight, and I don't have, I know it costs money. I'm not denying that, but the fire that happened in Denton, you can see the overview in the picture. You can see how vast that was. It was a huge building, and it took up a majority of the east side of the Denton Square, which is the biggest tourist area. They put up a big fence. I found out it was the owner who did that, and then the city used grant money in order to put that fence up. The fire happened on December 16th, 2017. There is still a hole there. They still have a fence there. But what they did was they got one of the local banks to donate the paint, and a muralist donated their efforts, and they painted it and they made it a beautiful site. And I really think that would go a long way. I know fences are expensive. I know it already has a fence, but it doesn't prevent people from seeing what's on the other side. And I think that's what this town really needs. So.
May I ask?
By all means.
This is citizens' comments, please.
Okay.
Oh. Am I allowed to?
We can address your correspondence later.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the room? Okay, so online we have Stacy Decker.
Evening, Council. Hey, real quick on the handicap parking, there are 2 on 6th, one next to Serendipity, one next to Museum of Friends. And then there is another one at 5th near the end on Main Street. Sorry, it's on Main Street, closer to 5th. That's right where the paper's at. So we have 3 handicap parking spots on that side of the street that if anybody was asking about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Shepherd.
Kevin Shepherd, you there?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hold on. After publicly criticizing unsafe conditions at the Walsenburg skate park and requesting where the park maintenance money was going, my wife, Kirsten Runkle, and I returned to the park to give back the bondo the city workers had previously asked me to use to repair the hazardous crack in the skate park. Kirsten was filming as I walked through the gate holding the bondo. Ray Bustos and Bradley Rice were sitting at a picnic table. One of them was smoking cigarettes. While we approached, as I walked up to the sidewalk, I sarcastically said, "Don't get a hernia, guys. Don't break a sweat, guys. Bradley Rice immediately yelled, "You better just leave." I responded, "I'm not leaving, dude. This is a public park." My wife, Kirsten, repeatedly explained that we were simply returning the Bondo because repairing the dangerous defects at the park is taxpayer funded. I didn't feel like it was my job. It was their job, so I was giving it back. The argument that followed was a political criticism about public safety, maintenance, city maintenance, and taxpayer funded work, not violence. I criticized them for sitting around smoking while hazardous conditions remained at the skate park for years. Officer Luke Rangel later submitted a sworn affidavit for portraying me as an aggressive and claiming prior incidents involving me shoving cameras in people's faces and antagonizing people. No body cam footage or evidence has been produced showing any such conduct ever that I know of. I'd like to see it. The entire criminal case began after I publicly criticized city employees, questioned park funding and maintenance, and filmed the conditions of the skate park. My wife filmed it, not me. This guy walked up to the police and swayed back and forth like he had a camera in his hand, saying that that was what I was doing. And then their supervisor drove up in a truck and talked about murdering me in front of everybody. The bald skinhead looking guy, the big white guy. Yeah, he talked about running me down in his truck while he was in front of all these guys putting that report in. And what? They don't drop all this? That is pretty crazy, man. What is going on here? This is BS. I didn't do anything illegal, and I got arrested and set up because you guys worried about exploiting the funds. I went there because I was really disgusted after talking to the mayor and listening to what was going on. The mayor told me that they're getting like $40,000 a quarter, that they're taking all the money of the Parks and Rec. Where's it going? It ain't going to the skate park. It's totally unsafe, and it's just really screwed up. Are you going to arrest me for this too?
Joshua Lloyd?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Okay. I'd like to start out by thanking the clerk for putting up Walsenburg Police Department's policy up on the website. That's one of the things that I have an issue with as far as requests are not being made or not being fulfilled. Mr. Vanilli over here, him and Cheryl feel that they don't need to answer, I guess, to certain citizens about certain questions. It's a very simple question. I need to know if my trespass stands. If it stands, if there's an appeals process. If it doesn't stand, that's awesome. Okay? If it does stand, I need to know how I get body cam footage with your policy that I can't find, but the policy that you have to come in person to pick up the body cam. So if I'm trespassed, how do I pick up that body cam if I'm not allowed on any city property? And I just want to say, Mr. Pacheco, it's great to hear that at least you answer some complaints. Mr. Galusha answered my complaint, but he told me he'd get back to me as soon as he could with an answer. I'd really like an answer to my complaint. If you could, as mayor and as the board, please instruct the police department and your higher up staff to answer any complaints, requests that come in, and should not ignore it. I did issue a letter stating that, you know, if I have to, I will make necessary complaints and I will take it to a judicial aspect where I can get at least $1,000 per violation of CORA requests that is not answered. That's pretty much all I have for you tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
John DiNicola?
Evening, folks. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we got you.
All right. Apparently, harassment is a new term that we're going to be using with the police department right now. It's kind of funny. I mean, you heard what would happen. You had a city employee threaten to run a man down in front of the Walsenburg Police Department, and nothing was done to him. I find it also amusing that another citizen walked over to Sergeant Barrows on body camera, by the way, and told Sergeant Barrows that he wanted to bury another citizen in his backyard. But there were no charges filed against him, were they, Chief? It seems that we're going to go into selective enforcement of the law around Walsenburg. It's unconscionable. And here's another one. I got word from a little bird that tells me that the administrator over at housing, Miss Sykes, is entering property without a warrant, without exigent circumstances. Maybe the chief can explain the Fourth Amendment warrant requirements for her to enter a property. I mean, this is insane, guys. You guys just keep stepping in and stepping in, not to mention the fact that for some reason, these people are getting sick over in the housing authority because, oh, well, you know, these pictures of mold that I'm getting sent. Somebody needs to get on the ball, look into this stuff and fix it, because I can tell you right now, my next step is the IG. That's where I'm going to take my complaint to. You folks are unbelievable. And then we have my favorite. You guys are out here trying to pass some ordinance or something about the decorum rule, and Miss Sandoval and other members of the dais are sitting there saying that you don't have to take the abuse. It's awful funny that you don't mind taking the praise, but you don't like taking the abuse. Mr. Hyatt should be able to tell you that those are the things that are most protective. The negative context, the negative speech that you get, because that's the thing that you can't take the praise and not take the criticism. You know, at the end of the day, it really astounds me that we've come this far. And then we have to deal with the other fact that number of complaints, especially against the chief and Lieutenant Perry from their April 7th little escapade out on a public sidewalk, those complaints that were filed against the chief and Lieutenant Perry and were handed out to this entire dais that haven't been answered. You know, the HB 217, the Integrity Act, means that once those complaints are filed, you have 21 days to come up with the police reports, the body camera
Thank you,
footage.
sir. Your time's up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
D. Mays Sandoval.
Good evening, Council. D. Mays Sandoval, DEEMAES SANDOVAL. I just want to point out to everyone, I don't sit up on the dais, as Mr. J. Nicola stated, but I do want to address the police department. We have been at Safeway getting petitions signed. Everyone is well aware of that. Had an incident where the police department needed to be called. Officer Rangel, Federhoff, and Barrows came out. Officer Rangel took statements from Jason Valdez and I. He didn't even question or take statements from Karen Campbell or Dana Velarde, who were very present as everything went down. Yeah, I talked to him one day in the foyer after a few days later, and he told me that he was going to be filing assault charges on the guy who had laid his hands on me and also got into it with Jason. And I said, great. A couple of days later, he calls me and he says, I need you to come down to the PD. And I said, for what? And he said, well, we'll talk about that when you get here. And I said, I'm not in town. And he said, well, can you come down Wednesday? And I said, well, I'll be there Thursday. What do you want to talk to me about? He said, well, I don't want to say on the phone, which come on, really? Said, what does it matter? I'm going to find out when I get there. He said, well, I need you to sign a summons for harassment charges. So nothing for a week was told to me of any harassment charges, but this is the way it goes with the Walsenburg PD with our protest. Anytime we're involved in something where we are attacked, we are approached, and we respond, we're told we shouldn't have responded to that. We shouldn't have talked back. We shouldn't have done this. Well, I have retained counsel. I'm tired of this. This is nonsense. Vanelli served me a no trespass based on someone's word, no evidence whatsoever. But whatever she did for him, I have no idea. But I'm tired of the harassment, Chief Vanelli, from your department, and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. With that being said, boots and hoodies are being paid for. Are all expenses for general wear covered for all employees, or was this a one-off? Flowers for Debbie Barnes, wasn't she paid for her services? Did all other full-time permanent employees receive flowers or some other type of acknowledgement of same value? Will the Parks Department be reimbursed for the funds that were spent on the golf course freezer? Will citizens' utility bills be waived as the golf course bill was waived? Did the city receive the park and funds rec funds? Any follow-up? Code enforcement. What's going on with it, Chief Finale? It's not in your report. Go take a drive down Kansas. Those cars are all still there. Waterhall preferential treatment still going on. We've talked about this many times, Mayor. At the beginning of the Utility Commission, you said you were going to address that. The high school not paying for the water mentioned in Debbie Barnes' report. Have
Your
you
time's
followed
up,
on
Dee.
it?
Thank you.
Next.
Carmen Lara?
Carmen Lara, CarmenLara. I wasn't going to say anything, but you know, if council, the CA, the ACA, and all of you don't see what's going on, you're not paying attention, because there have been complaints against the PD, against, you know, some of the reports where they're not given information or they're doing things that they don't have the authority to do. I mean, this city is a mess. And council, I'm sorry, but it rests on your shoulders. You need to take control. You need to start making people follow policy. You need to follow policy yourself. You know, I just don't understand. I mean, we wanted a PD to protect the people. And yeah, there are some good officers, but what the heck is going on? Harassment against people that protest, that are getting petitions signed. I just don't get it. You know, we're going backwards. We're almost worse with the PD than we were than when they wanted to get rid of it the first time. And now we have no backup because the sheriff doesn't want to have anything to do with the city. Please wake up, city council, and follow policy. You haven't accepted Harriman's or Pacheco's resignation yet. I don't know why you haven't done that. You got to do that too. So are they leaving? Are they not leaving? What the heck is going on? This is beyond ridiculous. You know, you have policy, you've got rules to follow. You need to follow them. You need to get our city back on track because we are going backwards, really backwards. So I don't know. I don't know what to say, but Galusha and Pacheco, and I'm sorry, they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And some things I don't even know why they're not doing things, because they don't seem to really be doing their jobs. The CA's not doing his job. The ACA seems to be doing everything he wants. He's an assistant to the CA. He is not the CA or anybody better. So please, council, start getting tough. Let's go. And I'm sorry, I wasn't going to say anything, but you all need to start following the rules. Let's go for the citizens in the city of Walsenburg, because Walsenburg is falling, and it's falling hard. Get it together, please. I'm begging you.
Cynthia Cresswell? Hang on, Cynthia.
Cynthia
Okay.
Cresswell, Cresswell. Just a couple of things. Regarding the leaf and limb that did not get accomplished. I know you said, Gina, that they're going to extend and do additional time. Correspondence like that should actually be relayed to the citizens so they know exactly what's going on, instead of just nothing at all being heard and nothing being done. Not to be absolutely critical, but proofreading is absolutely necessary, because Ward 2 stated that it was going to start on the 8th, which was a Monday, but in actuality, the 8th was a Friday. So small details like that do matter. in regards to the reports that for the water and sewer and whatnot that have not been getting presented with Mr. Harriman being on vacation. I do understand that, as Mr. Pacheco said, some of these supervisors don't have any report writing skills. However, knowing that Mr. Harriman submitted a resignation, something should have been addressed immediately, not almost 3 weeks in, and the council has no information whatsoever as to what's going on. That was something that should have been addressed immediately by the CA and the ACA. Priorities, please, everybody. Again, and Mayor Vazani hears me say this all the time, transparency is not only required, it is mandated. And the citizens, as well as the council and the mayor, need to know what's going on. You can't run a city if you don't know what's going on. Thank you very much.
And it looks like that's everybody from online.
Everybody, move on. Huh?
And again,
You already spoke once. We can move on. We got a long agenda. I don't know how to get rid of it. Let it flash. Okay, unfinished business. I'd entertain a motion on ordinance 1215, the second reading.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1215 on second reading.
Motion by Don Martinez,
Second.
second by Jennifer Novak. This ordinance is just the second reading on setting the compensation for municipal judge. Any other comments or questions from council? From the audience? Roll call, please.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Fred Eckert,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Mayor Vazani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
No,
Don Martinez,
Yes.
6-1, motion passes.
You. Discussion of possible action on the sale of the youth camp. Just bring council up to date. Back in September, the council voted to sell the youth camp to the hospital district. They said 800,000 cash in their pocket. And it is now May 19th and they don't have the money anymore. And they're looking at getting an appraisal and possibly offering less. If the appraisal comes in less. And that's where that's sitting. I did contact MTI Builders, who was the other party interested in the youth camp. They're still interested. So
They're interested at the same terms?
they may want to inspect it first. I haven't heard back.
And the hospital really put us in a bad place.
Yeah.
You know, they were willing to put up $1.1 million. We would have had to wait, they said, a year or so till about this time. The hospital assured us that they were good to go as is. Mayor and I walked the property with them. They knew what they were getting. They said they had the check in hand. I can't remember how many times I seen the CEO like check in hand. And why it never came to us and why we didn't follow up and make that happen.
Yeah, there's been, all my information's talking over the phone, basically. I have a couple emails. I'll share later when the time's right, but, the hospital needed the money for something else and spent it. And now they have to borrow it to make it good, but they are pretty sure they're not gonna be able to borrow it for any more than appraisal. So it's looking like less. And I talked to Kate a few times, and she's saying if you have to, go ahead and sell it, so. There's a little bit of issue with how we get out of the current contract. There's gonna be some detail to work out. They're way past the date. It was supposed to happen by November, December. The hospital does claim that our attorney and the process to go through, we had to go through Warfield County Planning and Zoning because it was attached to another property, part of the a bigger lot. It had to be separated, had to go through planning and zoning in the county, had to get surveys done. There was some things they had to do. But in the meantime, spent the money and now they don't have it. And so that's where we're sitting. So you guys know everything I know.
That was the plan all along. the
Yeah.
beginning.
Did they lose earnest money?
They didn't give us any.
They give us 8,000. I think daughter abstract has the 8,000. I'm pretty sure. I gotta check. I haven't had a chance to check with daughter yet. This just come up.
I thought they were gonna pay it in full. That's why I'm saying I didn't think there was any earnest money.
Daughter abstract made him put down earnest money and I thought it was $8,000. That's what's in the contract. I did see it.
So then that should be the city of Walsenburg's.
Yeah,
And
unless we decide to.
And $400,000 of that sale was for the police's budget
General fund and 400,000 for the pool.
and 400,000 for the pool.
that's what I'm saying. We use that to budget and now, we keep talking about budgets in the budgets in the budget. Well, if we don't have that money, it's not in the budget anymore. So how do we write that?
Yeah, what we need guidance on is you want to give them more time or do you want to go ahead and get them, the contract says if you get them to give you a letter that says they're out of the deal, they can't pay 800,000, then it's free and we can do what we want. So I sounds like I could just ask for that letter and get that. That's going to be the simplest way out of this. And then we'll see if the other place comes through, which they're high on Walseburg. They liked it because it's actually built for exactly what they want to do. The major structure part is sound. They've done a assessment of their block buildings with concrete floors and new roofs. So that part's 5 buildings and a gymnasium. It's pretty good shape. So
Their original offer was higher than the hospital's.
1.1.
1.1 million.
So is that what they're offering again, or do
They
they
may,
get to go down to the 800,000?
no, I think they're gonna do 1.1 as long as the thing's in halfway the same shape as it was when they looked at it. They haven't seen it since last September, so
I'm glad
they
that,
have the right to look at it again. And so I told them,
So has the hospital been in there since all this negotiation started? Have they done anything in there?
no,
Nothing at all.
and they still have things stored there, though. The hospital
They-
uses part
they
of it.
did, they said it was stolen. That's what they told me. They used to use the building you worked in, the maintenance. Then they had a bunch of lumber and stuff, and they said it's gone, so. It's been sitting there empty for 30 years. I mean, there's been vandalism and theft the whole time. Seems like here lately there was a little bit more, so. If you want me to pursue it, I'll see what we can do about getting the old contract over with, and I think that's maybe what the hospital wants. And then, contact MTI and just go there. If they're willing to do the 1.1, we're good to go with the 1.1. Everybody?
As soon as possible before it starts affecting our police department, because that's where some of the money was.
We'll address,
Still gonna wait. I mean, that money ain't gonna come anytime soon.
Yeah.
They still have to do grants and stuff.
Their funds are relying on a grant. They said that, but well, not a perfect world. I don't think you're guaranteed. We had cash in hand and that wasn't guaranteed.
Mayor, at the next finance meeting that we have, we'll address the issue of the deferred.
Okay. It sounds like council wants to do something. That's all I wanted to hear, to find out what we're gonna do.
Yes.
So since this is a financial matter, can we also get an update on that, of what it takes to get out of this contract?
For next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have actually had Mr. Hyatt start on this, so.
I mean, I'm just disappointed,
Yeah.
when we sat down at the table with them, when they were here, they were asking for community support. Like, that's what everybody wanted to do, and that's what we did, to support them as a community, and
Yeah,
I mean,
they made a big old deal about,
yeah.
selling it to somebody local versus this out of town company. And supporting our local stuff, all the new medical facilities and whatnot that they plan on putting in that facility. And, they knew how much they owed. They said they were gonna pay it. They stood right here and shook all of our hands and took pictures and everything, all happy. And then to turn around and just spend it on something else when they knew they had the contract, that's not, it's not very community minded,
That's what they told me happened, so.
Well, and if they didn't even,
Keep in mind, if after this meeting, they come up with 800,000 tomorrow, we probably gotta take it.
absolutely would take it.
Right.
Yeah.
But if not, we gotta do something. We can't just let it sit like we're gonna sit.
No.
So I've
We
got,
can't wait another 6 months.
no,
I mean, we have to have some action plan.
if we do have the finance meeting next week, I'll have more information. I didn't want to go through a bunch of rigmarole and then no, you guys wanted something different, so. We'll continue on. I'll work with the hospital more, see if I can just get a letter and get that deal over with, and then we're free to do what we want.
Find out about the earnest money.
Yeah. I'll know all those answers. I don't have a lot of those answers yet.
Thank you for checking on that.
You're welcome. Anything else on that? We'll move on.
I'll recuse myself, Mayor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're next.
Go run around the block.
We'll make it snow.
No running anymore.
Go do a rain dance or something. I entertain a motion,
There's a letter from Dan about this.
I see the resolution. You talking about an email?
Yes,
That's not on the agenda.
Attorney, not discussing.
client. Okay.
Somebody want to introduce the resolution? Before then we can discuss it.
Let me pull it up. Don normally reads these, huh?
Yeah. Somebody else is gonna have.
Let me get a link. How come I can find it? G8.
To read all of it or do I have to just read part of it?
Just that resolution.
Resolution number 2026 R10, First Amendment to the Ranch Manager Agreement.
Yes. I got a motion by Veronica Mays,
I'll second.
second by Pam Brightweiser. You have an enclosure. Little explanation, I guess, is, it's been back and forth and there's been some numbers thrown out there and, I think Don had some and they're public. The administration has decided that's probably the best thing for 1 year is to just give it back to Don Martinez just the way it was. They'll have time to study the industrial park ramifications of that property and, go from there because it's got, I don't think we can put it out for bid because people's numbers are out there and it's just a mess. So I think for 1 year, we just possibly carry on like we were. Because that's what this resolution says. Any discussion?
I agree with all you just said.
Okay.
I think, they evaluate the ground to make sure it was grazable and stuff. I think you got a report on that.
Yeah, I did. I
I
don't
think
have it with me. I got a report. I went to the soil conservation. He's actually, what's the 4-H guy? CSU Extension agent. He went and looked at all the property. His opinion is it has not been overgrazed. He said it's a drought year. The cows now are moved into a separate pasture. I guess there's like 3 pastures. And so he felt it was in pretty good shape. So for the shape the year's in, as good as you can do. So that was good news.
Yeah, I thought that should have
Yeah.
been mentioned.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate that for you reminding me. I forgot I even did that. Anything else? Roll call.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Mayor Vizani.
Yes.
Veronica Mays.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Somebody want to get done? Next on, action on the Civic Plus City website, Ord Bank and Ord Link codification agreement, as far as I know. This is on our Muni code. Part of the website, they do the Muni code, but it takes them like a year and a half. And for extra money, they'll do it immediately. Gina, you want to expand on that at all?
Not much,
Okay.
but this was something that Rick had been working on for a couple years prior to me, getting that, I'm not sure whether Civic Plus did not have the ability or why they did not get back to us. But now they apparently have someone in codification that will, they have a program now. It's $550 extra a month. But as soon as it's approved, like tomorrow, if we had the agreement, I could send them what we've approved tonight and they'll immediately add it. And so, it's obviously important. There've been a lot of city issues and, public issues caused by the lag of the codes being updated, for example, billing, and that kind of thing. And so it's just something we've been working on.
That's 550 per year.
550 per year, that's correct. So what the current cost is just for them to do it once every year. It takes usually about 1.5 years for them to get them, for the whole process to go through. And, meanwhile, we're running through resolutions and ordinances. And so, I'm not sure what finally got them going with getting the personnel to do that, but, I wanted to put it out
I
there.
have a quick question.
Sure.
You show your current contract, you show full service subscription, which is the website, I'm assuming. And then you show online code hosting, Muni code, full service code online for an extra $538. That's for the
One time per year.
one time per year. So does that go away?
No.
So they do, how do they get,
So
so
they're charging us an additional $550.
it's 550 on top of the 538.
And that site, it's a good site. I don't think we want to change that up. That would be a significant disruption to city business at this point.
They have to do all the upgrades to the website.
They have to do all that.
We can't go in there and do that.
No, I can't even change the officers. I think
You gotta call them, they do it.
once a year. So I think the last Joe Stillwell's still on there. I mean, it's far behind.
Now everything's gonna be updated.
Everything will be put on the next day. Well, of course, except ordinances, because they have to be posted in the paper. But we'll put it on and they take care of it right
But
away.
after second reading,
And
it's approved.
Correct.
So next day after the second reading is done.
Well, and it's 30 days after that before
Yeah, don't take,
it
they got
takes
30.
effect. But yes, they'll do it right away. So
Did we make payments on work that never was done?
no, they've been fulfilling their end of the contract. But we had just Rick started the year before I was hired. And then we continued we literally called him every day and sent hostile emails. And I don't know if they did not have that program at the time and they just got it staffed or what was going on with that. But somebody did finally call us. And so I wanted to get that done if you all were good with that.
What's the board's pleasure?
So just so I'm clear, so we're still paying the over $4,000 and now we're gonna pay another $550.
Correct. And just to prep everyone, next year is the ADA compliance will be due. So that'll be a different issue. Correct.
What worries me is like in the Muni code, we raised the water sewer rates in 24. It didn't get changed in the Muni code for a year. So people look at the Muni code and it's the wrong table.
Well, and it's
Here
everything.
you'd get it the next day.
Right.
To me, it's worth it for the Muni, because a lot of people are gonna look at that and they say, well, you're overbilling me. It's wrong because it takes so long to change it.
And as much as I appreciate this coming to us, I mean, if it's $550 more than we're paying, like, why isn't that just an administrative decision?
Because it's an agreement.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for the clarification. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement for the 550. Do we have to do anything with the current one or is that just ongoing?
No, that is good till I believe 2027. Is that? And it I think unless we decide we want to get out of it.
It auto renews, we have to let them know 60 or 90 days before.
Yeah.
Got a,
I was just gonna do it all at once, that's why I asked.
I got a motion by Veronica Mays, second by Donald Martinez.
Mayor,
Yes.
I want to correct something because the ordinances can't be published the next day. They would have to be published at the end of the 30-day period from the date of publication
What she said.
because they're not effective until then.
Yes, that's what Gina said. She corrected me already. So that's two corrections I got. Thank you. But yeah, it's going to be a reasonable amount of time. As soon as it goes into effect, it's going to get posted. So that's huge to me. Any other comments? Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yeah.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
motion passes.
I'd entertain an introduction of resolution R15.
I don't have to introduce, you can make motion on.
Or a motion or I just can't do it. Somebody else.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026 R15, a resolution authorizing grant application, acceptance of grant funds, and delegation of signatory authority.
I got a motion by Pam Brightweiser,
Second.
second by Ronald Stafford. Mr. Galucci, want to explain this a little bit? I think you're probably the one to do that because I do not know anything about it.
So, we haven't, our current, pipeline was installed in 1965, I believe it was. And it goes from Trinidad up and serves Aguilar along I-25. Comes into Walsenburg. We have, I think it's 28 services on that line. So it's classified as a distribution line instead of transmission line. It was made from thin wall pipe when it was installed. We've had several breaks, several weld failures. And so the pipe as at its end of useful life. The cost to replace that pipe, and I believe some of you have seen the reports, is in excess of $40 million. There are some alternatives to that. The one that is recommended is a connection that purchases what they call the Spanish Peaks gathering system that goes up Lita to the old Oakdale mine that Tabula Rasa operated. And this grant is the amount of this grant is $11,463,000. There is no match requirement for this grant. And this takes care of a new tap for Aguilar, a transfer of the first 3 miles of the pipe to the city of Trinidad so they can serve their industrial park, the abandonment of the line from Elmora to Aguilar, and then we can backfeed Aguilar from the new tap, or we can get a new tap for Aguilar, and that Aguilar tap is almost 4 million of this project. And so what we need to do, because this grant is due on Friday, we need to have authority. There's one document, and it's the disclosure of lobbying disclosure that has to be signed by the mayor. The rest of the forms will be input through the grants portal, and that would be by our finance director. And that's why we need this resolution, is to submit this grant application so that we can hopefully get $11 million grant and get rid of a $40 million liability.
It sounds, I like the word free. No match. I like that.
Please.
We might as well apply for it. I don't see why not.
When you say finance director, do you mean our city accountant?
I'm sorry, yes, city accountant. I misstated.
Any other comments, concerns?
Is the
Jennifer?
city accountant gonna do the deliverables? Like, because I don't see anywhere in here on who is going to do the deliverables for the grant.
We will have a project manager for that. And so the project manager is identified as Art Ortiz. Art has agreed to, as long as he's able. He plans on being here for 2 years in order to make sure that this project works. In addition to Art, we have Brad Bean on board as a consultant that will, and GMS Engineering that will put the packages together for the deliverables.
Okay, I just want to make sure the deliverables are done because that has been problems in the past where the deliverables are not.
Totally agree.
So is Aguilar in on any of this too, since it's obviously in their best interest?
So they are not involved in the grant application, nor is Trinidad. But this does, and I've talked with both Aguilar and Trinidad about this. They understand. What would happen is we would not be serving Aguilar if they get their own tap. They would have to then make their own agreement with Kinder Morgan and Nebraska Power in order to do their own purchases and handle their own system. What I suspect they will do is they will contract with Black Hills to do that for them.
So why would we pay, you said 4 million of that is for the Aguilar tap. Why would we use that money for their tap?
Because they don't have the capacity to do the application themselves. So with them having their own tap, that gives us another 12 miles of line that we can abandon, that we don't have to maintain. We can't just keep them as a customer? We can do that. And that's why once you see the grant breakdown, and one of the questions in the grant application is could this project move forward with a partial funding? And the answer to that is yes, because we've segmented out the abandonment of the line, the tap for Aguilar, the transfer ownership to Trinidad. So we can do that, still feed Trinidad that first 3 miles, abandon 11, feed Aguilar and backfeed from Walseburg to Aguilar. And I'm sorry that I've got my back to you guys.
It's okay.
Okay, any other questions? Concerns? Roll call.
Veronica Maids,
Brian. No, we got a long agenda, so.
I know you got a long agenda, but this is the exact kind of thing that bothers me and what I see as being one of the major problems of getting us in the financial situations that we are in. We have known about this problem for over 10 years. What you're about to do right now is you're about to adopt a resolution that authorizes an application for an unspecified project, the acceptance of unknown funds, execution of the documents, and a commitment to maintain this unknown project, all without any capital improvement plan, without any attachments, without anything that tells you what you're doing. Now, he has a plan, and that might be the right plan. When I was on council, the council approved a plan. After I got off council, you guys looked at options and you chose specific things and specific directions. Does this match? Who knows? There's no documentation. Again, you're asked to do a resolution without any of the necessary documentation. That needs to stop. That is a governance failure. That's what I'm talking about. City council has to establish some kind of control sooner or later. If you got a Friday deadline, I guess you got to do a Friday deadline. I looked up the grant applications. I see May deadlines.
May what?
May 22nd.
When is Friday?
Okay. So you bring it to council 2 days. On a cycle grant, this grant will be back on another period. I mean, you could have brought these documents to these people a long time ago. You're going to do this, but this is totally the wrong way of going about it.
I think we're at least doing something, so.
I think it's hard to make a plan for money you have no idea where it would be. Seems to be a way to find money to go with the plan.
Council, any more comments?
So this Bean person, right? Was that his name?
Brad Bean, correct.
Yeah, so I thought when we've had this conversation in the past, that he was like the owner of the line and he would be the profiter of that money. Like he would,
He will profit some of it, yes.
so what I don't like is that he's the one working on it. So I believe that was why the last time we talked about this, we didn't follow through with it because it was basically him self-promoting, him making the money, him doing. So I don't know. I agree with Brian that there is a lot of vagueness here. And I, for one, I mean, I have a dollar sign written on here because that was my question. How much is this for? You answered those questions, but why can't it be in writing? Why can't it be on here? Why can't the details be on here? So.
Because the grant is not complete yet.
What are we asking for? What are we looking for? Up to an amount, like,
11,463.
again, it's not in writing, it means nothing. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, I personally feel we're actually doing something and all the plans in the world don't give you, we make a lot of plans, we never follow through. I would actually like to apply for a grant. This gas line has been a nemesis to Walsenburg. They've been telling us years and years. I don't think we sit here and do nothing. I think it's worth doing. Anybody else?
I'm struggling with it. I think it needs to be done, but I don't think, I agree with Brian. I don't think this was the right way to do it.
And to be like, has to be done this week. Like, when we talked about it the first time, like, we had some really intense, serious conversation about it. I mean, yeah, it didn't go anywhere, but no one else ever brought it back, and that was years ago. But to basically just ram it down, just to do it, I don't believe is the right direction.
And it does concern me that a stakeholder would be doing the deliverables.
That's my big concern.
And I didn't know that when I asked the question.
May I?
Go ahead, John.
So I have the same concern and I said, there's no way that I can take this council if I can't have an independent evaluation of this. So Nebraska, our purchasers in MPP, Nebraska Gas Association, whatever it is, and Black Hills Energy both reviewed the proposal and said, yes, this is the right move, the right option. Out of the 4 options that were there, this is the correct option. The most cost-effective solution for the city of Walsenburg. So I knew I had a question about, are you just promoting yourself because you're an owner? And the answer that I got from 2 independent evaluations was no, this is the right move.
So when was the last time that this line that Bean owns, when was the last time it was pressurized? When was the last time it was tested?
It's under pressure right now for 135 pounds and has held that 135 pounds for 2 weeks.
And what is his profit margin on this line?
I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of work he did in order to
Well,
get
and
this line.
this present council sitting here has probably not even seen all the 4 options. I mean, I know I have, I think Donnie has, but I bet you everybody else hasn't seen them. So that's what I'm saying, to just pick one and say that's the one we're gonna go with when the 7 of us sitting here now haven't even heard what those options are. Cause I don't truly remember all of them, but I know that everybody here has not seen all of those options.
How long goes you see those options and not do nothing? I don't want to do that again. I think let's go ahead and move forward and quit for times we're gonna do something.
Let's see the options and then do something.
Before Friday.
You didn't do nothing with them last time.
There were reasons why we didn't do it last time, but
Oh, what were they?
it wasn't somebody ramming it down our throat and saying, do this option.
Well, this has been on the table a long time. I think it's finally something moving forward and getting something done versus just having plans and nothing ever happens. Anybody else?
There's a chance that we may not get this grant at all and this option may not work.
Yeah.
We're applying.
Cause I thought one option was like 6 million. if I remember correctly.
That is this option. 6.1 million was the original estimate, but with the additional cost of Aguilar, the cost of engineering that was not in, the cost of environmentals, and the transfer to Trinidad of
Again, why are we paying for other municipalities?
why
Why aren't they in on this? Why aren't they paying their share of it?
you're sure welcome to write this if you'd like to.
I'm just saying, I mean, if the cost of transferring to Trinidad, including Aguilar, doing all that is doubling this grant, why are we doing it? Just saying.
Well, I, for one, don't want to have to go buy a propane tank and switch all my house to propane, and that's what's just gonna happen if you let the line to Trinidad fail, which is if you keep pushing the can down the road, that's what's gonna happen. And so this is at least, if not, it's a backup, if nothing else. If you ever got the money and still fix Trinidad, you can have two and you have a backup. Right now, you're on the verge of this line failing from here to Trinidad. So I think it's prudent upon this board to do something instead of do plans,
And you're
my opinion.
asking us to accept free money.
Asking you to accept free money, yes.
To apply.
Just apply, yes.
To apply.
This gives you the authorization to apply for the money. Once, if you are awarded the money, then you will have to accept it.
Yeah.
So because it is so vague, can we apply for the money, hear the options and use that money towards the option that we choose?
No,
I would say no, yeah.
You have to submit a quote with the grant application, don't you?
a project.
Yeah, you have to lay out the project.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, why don't we have all of that?
Any other discussion?
Be taking citizens' comments on there.
It's,
And you have to.
it's a resolution, yes.
Cynthia.
Cynthia, go ahead.
Hi, my question would be this: if this is a coordinated effort and would benefit multi-cities, why then would not an agreement be established for accountability for both Trinidad and Aguilar in conjunction with Walsenburg? We should not be the only city to have to agree to pay back any grant money when the other two cities are benefiting as well. It should be a three-way split. And if you go forward with this, then there needs to be some form of an agreement signed by the appropriate parties so that they agree that if this does go through, they are responsible for a third of the cost and the payback of the debt, not just Wassenberg again.
It's
Thank
a
you.
grant,
This is 100% grant, no match.
no loans.
Yes, but if the deliverables are not done, you have to pay back the grant.
Camera recording started.
Anybody else? You raising your hand? Ellen? You gotta come up here if you want to talk. They can't hear you on Zoom from back there.
Yes, my question is, if the window shuts Friday, do you have to wait another year? Is that how it works?
So, as it was, this grant was not funded, it was canceled. And then, they came up with funding 98 million. So we're applying for 11 million out of a total nationwide of 98 million. It opened on March 23rd. It closes on May 22nd. We do not know if it will be reauthorized.
Okay, so this is a one-shot deal.
Anybody else?
And did you say that if we got a partial amount that we would have to exclude Trinidad and Aguilar
Correct.
under those smaller amounts? But it's more in our, all right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Very reluctantly, yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
I'll stand by my word, no.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
6-1, motion passes.
Thank you. Discussion and action on the Dagger Dam inspection and required action. You guys read your enclosures. Any council comment?
He required, and required.
And dam safety had an inspection. Mr. Harriman's not here. John or Jerry have anything they want to add?
We will work on everything that we can, to complete.
Does this have to be done concurrently with the spillway deal, or is that a different?
2/3 of this is already in a. Construction has not been, and then I think that the one item that we have to deal with is beach and
Design for the repair.
design, $50,000, there it is. 50,405 is what has to be dealt with. The geotech and the design.
So that's separate from the spillway deal. This is seepage from the whole dam itself.
From the dam itself.
And then if they find a certain amount of seepage, there'll be something coming forward to fix it.
This includes the design and repairs.
Yeah. And repair?
The design for the,
Yeah.
design for
Just the
the,
design. Repairs could be whatever.
correct.
But we want to certainly make sure we're not losing water.
Well, and not only that, we gotta stay in the good graces with dam safety. They could make you drain it.
Yeah.
And then you lose the whole lake. That's what you, I mean, it's kind of a necessary evil. You're at their mercy. If they decide it's serious enough, they could lower that level.
And we're already under restrictions.
My question.
Any other discussion? I'd entertain a motion.
This we don't, we don't have budgeted this, right? Because it's a,
No, we budgeted, 50,000 was not budgeted. The spillway was budgeted, but I don't believe this. This is a new inspection that this dam inspector just done this year.
Right.
So what do you do if a state dam inspector tells you to do something? I mean, if it's not budgeted, sometimes you gotta do it. I'm not up on it enough to give you any kind of direction. It's gonna be.
Have the funds. And is there some kind of budget contingency in there?
This would be, I would classify this more of as an essential operation of our water function. That this is of such importance that if we don't deal with it now, we could face loss of use of the reservoir, further restrictions. I mean, and then as the mayor said, we don't want to get into bad graces with our state partners. So if they tell us to fix it, we got to figure out a way to fix it. There was a cottonwood tree that was growing out of the side of the dam, is my understanding, and they took that out. So they want to make sure that there's no avenue to have leakage, a hole in the dam, if you will. And so that's why they're pushing for these analytics.
I'd be willing to bet that cottonwood tree found the leak. That's how it survived. Yeah, I don't know. It's a catch-22. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, so.
Unintended.
And a dam is kind of a cliche there.
Can you approve to pay the 50,405 for investigation and design?
I got a motion by Veronica Mays,
Okay.
second by Don Martinez. Further discussion?
I just have a question.
Go ahead.
We discuss this in the financial meeting and vote on it on the 2nd at our next meeting, just to kind of see where the numbers are gonna play out.
I think we have to do it.
Huh?
I think we have to do it.
You don't think it can wait 2 weeks to vote on it?
financial meeting's on the 26th.
The financial meeting is
We
next,
usually don't do any actions during.
If it's a workshop, we don't,
no, but to vote on it on the 2nd. After we digest this a little bit.
okay, I got a motion and a second on the floor I'm gonna have to deal with, so.
Asking a question.
Everybody heard Jennifer's concern.
Do we have any timeline on this?
We'll have to enter into contract with them, I would imagine. I mean, look here.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we don't,
Are they wanting this, or are we just asking council for direction, or are we wanting their official approval tonight?
Discussion and action, it says.
I think the sooner we do this, the sooner they get started on the work. That would always be more.
Yeah, and the big thing was like this, you know, Mr. Perry is a dam safety inspector. If he sees council voted for something, he's patient from there on down, but if he sees it gets pushed down the road, he starts getting a heartache. He's done that with us before.
he has a lot of red in his email.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying, yeah.
That's why there's a restriction on
Yeah. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Veronica Mays,
Yes.
Donald Stafford,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
7-0, motion passed.
Thank you. We'll move on. Action on purchase requisition, water treatment, aluminum chloride. I believe that's money we already spent because of the water loss we had during the leak.
No, this is new.
This is new?
Yes.
John?
Because of the amount of chloride that we went through during the break, we have to replenish that with this.
So that's, you know, there's gonna be questions, how come we're doing it again? I think that's the answer is we lost probably 40 acre feet during that break, so. I think this is another, like Jerry mentioned, it's a cost of doing business cost. I mean, I don't think we have a choice. We can't shut the treatment plant down, so that's our only choice, and you know, we're not gonna do that.
So provided that we have no other major issues. Fingers crossed that there's no more major issues. Will this get us through the end of the year?
Well, we consume, these are consumable items, so depending on volumes, we periodically make we probably have at least, what, 4 orders a year?
They're hoping to go down to 3.
And typically this is in the budget when he,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah, this is a polymer that pulls things out of the water column so they can be separated from the water. It's my
But
understanding.
the budget's gonna be kind of
Right, it's.
higher because of the
short.
break, yeah.
I get that.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call.
No, we have to make a
Oh,
motion.
you didn't do nothing yet? Okay, I need a motion first. I'm looking at the list below me here. There's
I'll
long.
move that we approve, move that we approve the poly aluminum chloride for 35,828.55.
I got a motion by Ronald Stafford,
Second.
second by Jennifer Novak. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Veronica Mays, Donald Stafford,
Yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, the next is action on Walseburg Sewer Line Replacement Project.
What did we do last time? Didn't we?
John, do you want to discuss on this? Because I don't
So
remember.
you approved this project in February. When I was getting the documents ready, we had a water break and this kind of fell off my plate recently. Plus, Coronet is the company that's doing work at the wastewater treatment plant, and Roy had said, please don't dilute their work on the wastewater treatment plant by giving them another bid at the same time. So they're very close to being done with the wastewater treatment plant. And this is just the contract that gives them the go ahead.
So we already approved this, but we're
that, yes, you've approved this expenditure in February. And this is the contract that goes with that.
And did anything change since February?
No, not to this contract. I do think that we're gonna add Fifth Street and Seventh Street. We
Yeah.
have two sewer lines that were not included in that original contract. We'll probably do an addition, a change order on. This came in significantly under budget. The budgeted amount for this was $450.
Okay. This actually takes care of that. There was been a real tender issue down Pennsylvania south. That manhole always got flooded on Pennsylvania, my Aunt Kathy's house and Bill Hicks and all that area. This should resolve that problem, at least help alleviate it. And after they built them apartments, they're adding possible 17 apartments. I don't think they're full yet, but real important to get this piece done, so.
Yeah.
And it's already approved. We have to do something?
You have to approve the
Action?
contract.
Oh, okay. Any other comments?
I move that we approve the Cornet Construction contract for the replacement of the sewer line.
I got a motion by Ronald Stafford,
We need an amount,
336 something.
804.
804.
Yeah.
For 336,804.
Thank you.
Motion by Ronald Stafford,
Second.
second by Pam Brightweiser. Further discussion? Roll call.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Veronica Mays, Brett Eckert,
Yes.
John Martinez,
Yes.
Mayor Bazzani,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you.
So just so I'm clear, we added 2 more streets and the bid went down?
No, we have not added those streets. So we'll come to you with a change order. It went down because it was value engineering. Because on Pennsylvania, instead of going through the front yards and having to replace all the front yards, they come out, go down the street and then go back into the mountain.
Thank you.
You use the value engineering term that CDOT uses for if like the contractor comes up with an alternative that's a lot less, you kind of split the difference type thing?
I didn't do that. That was their words.
That was their words, okay. Curious, but that's usually what value engineering means is contractor comes up with a better way, you kind of split the savings. Okay. That passed. Next. John Stroh, technical review, water right augmentation, you got everything, you got the enclosure. Discussion, if any, I don't know how to, Ronald Stafford, myself, or the number 5 ditch company representatives. As you all know, the city of Walsenburg, that's the water we're trying to move for augmentation. It's in the number 5 ditch. The city owns like 57% of that ditch. Back in 1999, when Butch Corsentino wanted to sell that property to the city wouldn't buy it unless the number 5 ditch company agreed that it could be used as augmentation and domestic use. They amended their bylaws as such, and now we're in the process of moving that water. And this ditch company wants to protest. They put in a protest with the state when we're trying to move the water. And they want us to pay for some of the protests, basically what this is about. And you got the letter.
And I reached out to our water attorney, Jennifer, and she's on vacation, unfortunately, out of the country. But Matt Welsh with Element said that that the city says that we do not share any of these costs. So that's not directly from Jennifer, but when he said when she gets back, that she probably will be able to write all of us a letter to tell us that, but that we don't. So I'll make a motion that we do not pay any of these costs.
I got a motion by Veronica Mays. Second by Jennifer Novak. Any further discussion? I'd just like to add that all the meetings I've been in with Jennifer and Matt is Jennifer has in the past said there's no way the city should have to spend money to fight themselves, so. I'm just concurring with what Veronica said. That's actually true.
Maybe my new motto for life. How much do I pay to fight myself?
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Veronica Mays,
Yes.
Fred Ecker,
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser,
Yes.
Gina Bizarro,
Yes.
Don Martinez,
Yes.
Ronald Stafford,
Yes.
Jennifer Novak,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, we have change orders between GMS and Cornick. This is for the wastewater treatment facility. Anybody want to explain why we have these change orders?
The original, the first enclosure from Mark Morton, the GMS, pretty much explained everything in detail on what the costs are. The air header replacement is for the pneumatics. And I'm sorry, the change order number 2 is for the pneumatics. That's the 15,000. Air header replacement is for changing the sizes, the saddles that they ordered do not match the existing, so that has to change. And then the canopy cost increase was a pass through from Clearspan.
Okay, so administration's comfortable with the change orders. This is work over and above what was originally contracted.
So the change orders 3 and 4 can be absorbed in the project. Change order number 2 cannot. That change order number 2 is $15,718.58.
Do we have any choice?
No.
That's what I thought.
Repeat that? Which ones can be absorbed and which ones can't?
Get back in.
I don't see
I see I see 3 attachments.
He told me number 2 can't be absorbed, he said.
On the first enclosure, you see change order 2, 3, and 4.
Right. The enclosure that is not the enclosure that's outlined or highlighted to the right. The email from Mark with.
Right.
So what are we looking for tonight?
Looking to approve all 3 change orders, knowing that you have to absorb the cost of change order number 2 at 15,718.58.
So we'll request, we'll do all 3, but only have to pay the additional 15,718.
Correct.
All right, well, I'll make that motion then to accept the 3 change orders, up to this 15,718.58.
I got a motion from Veronica Mays.
Second.
Second from Don Martinez. Any further discussion? Will this be the end of it? Are they gonna be done now?
So
Yeah, we have to get it done June 30th.
their goal is to fire up the end of next week, work out the bugs and meet CDPHE deadline of June 30 for full operation. You just need a point of clarification on your motion. You said up to that 15,718. So out of pocket, if you could just say that. So
Yeah.
because
City's portion.
all 3 change orders are substantially more than 15,718.
So the other ones are absorbed,
In the current budget.
okay, so out of pocket.
Supplemental appropriation up to 15, whatever.
All that,
But he said,
You amend it to that?
whatever he
You
said.
said all of that. Good enough?
The video.
Don, you said all of that second? Okay.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Bazzani?
Yes.
Jennifer Novak?
Yes.
Don Martinez?
Yes.
Pamela Brightweiser?
yes.
Veronica Mays? Ronald Stafford?
Yes.
Fred Ecker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're down to correspondence. We have 3 enclosures. You all have viewed them. I thank everybody for sending those. There is, Ellen Sackett give hers, her pictures are in there. You could see what probably would be nice to have done around the old hospital, because the grant application, that's probably that cleanup is not gonna get done till probably 2028 if they get the grant. So it's gonna be a few years, couple of years.
By old hospital, that was my
Nursing
question.
home.
The nursing home that then became an antique small.
Yeah, that one.
That then was given to the county, does the county?
The county took it, that's the only way they could apply for the grant. The owner of the property did not want to do the cleanup that has asbestos in it. She donated, she sent the title, turned the title over to the county.
She gave them their trash.
Yeah, that's what she did, but that was the only way it's gonna get cleaned up. It was like $1 million to do the asbestos removal in that hospital.
What does the county do with it afterwards?
They're probably gonna give it back to economic development and they're gonna decide what to do with it. Some kind of, I've seen a couple of the designs, they've got stores, different kind of malls. They haven't, that's a long ways away. They've got some ideas, but it's gonna be economic Warfield County Economic Development's gonna make that decision.
Okay.
It'll be their property.
Does it go back on the property tax rolls?
If they sell it,
Never sell it, yeah.
if they sell it to a private agent.
Okay.
That's
A private company.
number of years away, I would guess.
I mean, I like this. I mean, it would be nice. We'd obviously have to go a lot higher just because the building, like this building is a whole. This building was obviously all the way to ground where this one's not. I mean, I don't know how high you go to actually cover that, but it's a great idea. Concepts are.
I would think maybe we can bring it up in URA meeting and see what they want to do.
I mean, just because we're, buying all that stuff for the storefront empty, it's like this is, and maybe with the county too, maybe the county, since they own it.
So we'll work on it. I think it's a good idea and we'll work on it.
It might save the fence too.
Can we
Huh?
do this?
Might save the fence.
Yeah.
Can we do this with the properties, the burnout properties too? The houses?
Well, it'd be nice.
So what I was just gonna say, instead of putting a fence up, if you bought plywood and just nailed the plywood to the front of the building, then you could go all the way up with the rails.
That could work.
You could probably make it look like something now and then. I'm sure Connor Orr and their downtown
Yeah.
painting guys would jump on that. So we do have painters and artists. That's one good thing. Go ahead, but
Weekend.
real quick, this is out of, because we got a long agenda and I'm not supposed to take,
You told me to come up.
I know.
So I'm coming up again. I was trying to crunch some numbers, just to get an idea how much it was gonna cost. I'm not prepared to talk about that. One of the things that I did consider, and it would save a lot of money, is and I don't know the building well enough to know it, because I only know it from the drive-by, right? But it is to, instead of encapsulate the whole building, but just to get, 7th Street and whatever that street is next to it.
Albert.
Albert.
You approached the county about this?
So
Have you approached the county about this?
I haven't approached anybody, but
Okay.
We will. We'll go to URA and we'll go to the county and economic development and everybody. Maybe we can come together between everybody and do it.
granting us.
Okay, one more. Then we got to move on. We got people waiting for interviews here. Yeah.
In another reason that we could use that property, one, if we put plywood around that building or even a fence to put murals, we still have people who are going to break into said building and probably set it back on fire. We could just demolish it and it could be another parking lot for city. Need parking. Parking is terrible in this town. Just demolish the building.
Department of Health
Yes.
says there's asbestos, we cannot touch it.
They already did all the asbestos.
Yep, we have to, it's gonna be a process.
We'd have already tore it down if we could have.
That's what they should have done.
Okay, we're past correspondence, executive session number 1. I need somebody to entertain.
I'll make a
or introduce,
motion
whatever.
to go into executive session for the purpose of discussion of a personnel matter under CRS section 24-6-402 2F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees and for the purposes of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and or instructing negotiators under CRS section 24-6-402 4E. Number one, relating to personnel matter concerning city administrator and or to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiation regarding the city administrator, Jerry M. Pacheco. And number two, applicant interviews for the position of municipal judge. No formal actions, decisions, or adoptions of any policy, resolution, rule, or regulation will occur during the executive session.
Second. I got a motion by Don Martinez, a second by Ronald Stafford. Mr. Hyatt, before we go in, can we do the interviews first? We've got these candidates been waiting here all night.
Yes, just because they're numbered 1 and 2 doesn't mean that you
Okay.
have to necessarily do them in that order.
So we will take in, we'll draw straws, the first one by themselves, and then call the next one in later after we're done with the first one, right? Two separate, and we're not interviewing both of them at the same time, I guess is what I'm asking.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then do we have to come back out to go back into the next executive
I
session?
don't think so.
No, not on these two.
No, on the second executive session.
On the second one, yes, for the second executive session, you have to come back into open session and vote to go back into executive session.
Thank you.
And where do we possibly get a substitute judge?
From your applicant.
We're gonna ask one of these guys. We're gonna ask one of these guys.
Okay.
And I apologize. We were trying to get a judge on board this month, so we can not miss June. So I'm hoping to at least do that. It sounds like we advertised a little longer than we should have. So we're gonna have that month where somebody can fill in, and then the actual duty won't start till the end of June. So but it's gonna be probably July term. Okay. We got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Where'd John go?
Start the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mayor, make sure
Yes.
the minutes reflect the fact that it was unanimous vote to go into executive session.
Yes, I have that.
Okay, got it. So,
Need that.
Michael, we start with you.
We are going to.
We have the executive session in the room, right?
When the executive.
Yeah, we got 5-minute break. So we can get to the bathroom.
Thank you.
Well, I gotta find the goddamn executive session.
The recording has stopped.